planning to do. I mean, hell, there's might be some side tournaments, anything going on, but it looks like FaZe and Alpha Esports being that team from Mexico, going at it over here on the Bravo stream.
FaZe, I believe they just they had a 3-0 on main stage. I honestly forgot who they played. It was a very convincing 3-0, though. They seem to be on fire here coming into this event. Last event, a lot of little issues for them as a squad. You know, technical issues with the PCs, I believe, and just kind of issues with their series and stuff like that. Didn't perform as good as I thought they would. Obviously, they were going for that three-peat. What do you think of FaZe as a roster, and what do you think of them in this event? Do you have them winning the whole thing?
I think they have a damn good shot, right? It's like I definitely, well, I have LVT winning the whole thing, right?
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
But no, I really do like this FaZe roster. I think they bounce back right here. Honestly, it depends on whether they have to play Space Station or Sentinels. I think Sentinels has a very good matchup against FaZe so far. I think FaZe is a great matchup against Space Station. Oh my God.
Matchups are so important here. Beautiful patience. Oh my God. That's great. I love that, right? When you're not moving with a camo, it's a lot tougher to see. So he takes that chance, stands still, gets a beautiful double out of it as well. Alpha Esports, a roster who I think would have a very difficult time beating this FaZe roster, but when you're a team like FaZe, you don't really, you know, look at these rosters in any different way than you'd look at Sentinels or SSG. You take every match and put everything into it, everything you can into it at least.
Yeah, FaZe knows that they're gonna have to beat everyone.
Yep.
At the end, because their goal isn't to place top 6.
Right.
Their goal is to win a tournament.
Right.
And for them, it doesn't really matter who's ahead of them. They're gonna take everyone seriously. They know that they can beat everyone, right? And having confidence like that, having knowledge like that, is something that very few teams have, right? Where they know that they can beat everyone. Because they've done it before.
Right.
And that's where I think Quadrant, I think we saw them start to make a huge change and start getting better placings when they beat Optic Gaming in pool play over at DreamHack Dallas, because that to them was like, once they beat Optic, they're like, damn, we can beat anyone.
Right.
And they started getting that momentum behind them. They started playing way better after that.
Such a mental game. It really is. You know, it's all about like how confident you are, and if you put that time in, your confidence is there, and that's just how it goes. FaZe looking to close this very first round out pretty quickly here. And it looks like you can see World 2, 8-4. Pretty good stat line. One thing I do want to talk about, though, on this FaZe roster is, and you hit me back with something if you don't agree with me, but I think that the early Sentinels roster with Lethal, I think they had the best communication in the game by far, period. Nothing to say about it. Best communication in the game. With Renegade now, I don't think their communication is as solid anymore. I think Renegade kind of brings that chaotic matchmaking kind of communication in a sense. Not downplaying the guy. I think he's one of the best in the game. But I think the reason I'm saying this is I feel like once they get that communication down, once Renegade kind of fits in with that small talk, they're going to be unstoppable, you know, period, this FaZe roster. What do you think?
It's just time in, right? And it's like for FaZe, it's still like, you know, they've been playing for a while now, but still in the history of this roster, it's a very new team.
Right.
We're talking about a team that's stuck together for, man,
forever.
7 years.
We're old.
They formed in 2015.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like a long time, and then that continued on until Charlotte earlier this year, right? So, this is a team that is, you know, although they've been playing for about a year now, still, when you talk about the grand scheme of things, still a lot that they can, a lot of intangibles, a lot of things that are unspoken that'll have to be learned. That they had with Lethal, that I know will come with Renegade.
I agree.
Renegade is a generational talent.
Right, I agree. I think they're kind of playing for the long game here, and it's good to see. See one round here, of course, going in the hands of FaZe. They take that very first one, and looking to continue. Alpha Esports have a long road ahead of them here to potentially bring this, you know, take this out. But they're in pool play. The good thing about pool play, for those of you guys that don't know in Fort Worth, is that you don't go home after the first day. If you place 4th in your pool, you're not flying back home already. You can go into lower bracket and play on a lower bracket. What do you think about that change? I think that's phenomenal.
Make it standard.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the entire community has been on the same page. that's exactly how every format for the rest of time should run if you're going to run pools.
I agree.
I like the winners round 2 bye. I like players all having a shot. And it just makes sure that like that there's no bracket mess up, right? That like everyone had their fair shot at getting their placing.
I like that. I like that. Hopefully we'll see that as time comes, and of course, you know, this tournament being that playoff type tournament where all these teams are playing for points, playing for those points, of course, and playing for Worlds. I believe the top 8 of this tournament secure top 8 for Worlds, correct? They secure that.
Yeah, top 8 will secure it, and then the rest will be determined by points.
Okay, the rest will be determined by points. So every placing matters for any team out of the top 8. All placings matter. Every single point matters.
Especially matters for Alpha, because if they don't get top 8, they'll have to play against the second best placing Mexican roster to determine who goes in a show match on Sunday. So
that's crazy.
Man, this is like, we need to get top 8. You don't want to have to play a qualifying match,
right?
Especially when you have had the more pro points for a while now.
Well, you can see FaZe kind of sweeping the floor here just a bit. They've got 42 seconds in round number 2. Kind of another day in the office here for these guys.
Enemy has the ball.
Just camo, rolling, looking. Good old Royal too. I mean, look at the stat line of FaZe. Everyone's just like doing their work. It's an equal load for them.
Yep. That it is. That camo will be utilized to get a kill.
Enemy has the ball.
Just pay attention though to how FaZe plays. You know, this game might be, in terms of tiers, it might be a bit different. It might be lopsided, so to speak, but pay attention to how FaZe plays. You know, if you're someone who's trying to get better, just kind of watch their rotational gameplay, watch you know, how they have sight angles on their teammates, just kind of watch their movement around the map. You know, the way I used to watch Halo back in the day, when, you know, years ago, 2006, 2007, whatever, is I would just kind of watch and be entertained. But if you're a player that's trying to get better at the game, try to like look at it from a bird's eye point of view and just try to better understand why these teams are making these specific plays and, you know, what's causing them to make specific plays, and you can kind of just bring that to your own game. And again, of course, that's for people that are trying to get better at the game, but I think it's a definite good thing to do to improve.
So far, Nasty Boy going to be getting the first time for Alpha Esports in this game, but here comes the push from FaZe. All 4 players converging at once, trying to find these kills, but Alpha, they've made themselves a hard team to find. Get the rotation at the right time and trying to bait these members of FaZe Clan out the door, but FaZe strong together, able to get the kills, and well, that ball looking more and more likely to move over towards FaZe.
I want to mention again, you know, because it's just a custom when I hop on cast here, that I'm really happy to see so many mouse and keyboard players play in the game. You know, shout out to, you know, Summit 1G, who's definitely I feel like definitely been an impact on that. So really cool to see more eyes on MNK. I spent so many years trying to put eyes on it, and now that it finally has eyes, it just puts a smile on my face just a bit. It's really nice to see. I even heard Ace. I even heard Ace on his stream the other day. I think it was yesterday, saying MNK. These MNK players are so good. You know, this is the reason. Like, look at these guys are going 30-2, and yeah, he's having a rough time with MNK. But he's at the event. I saw him, and he looks like he's having a good time. I'm not exactly sure how his team has been performing, but it's cool to see all the old heads continue to play Halo. So many names that I've recognized here today: Cynox, Black Halo God. So many players still playing the open bracket. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, it's like this is why we should have Halo events for the rest of the time. You know,
I agree.
It's a chance for everyone to see everyone once again. Gives us a chance to see how Halo is supposed to be played. I mean, it's been just a extremely clean game from FaZe through and through. There hasn't really a weakness to exploit, but Alpha's doing their best, right? And this is the thing, it's slow but sure. If they're able to find kill after kill, if they're able to keep FaZe at bay, like, this round isn't necessarily over. Even though FaZe has been playing phenomenal throughout this game, they still have a road to victory if you're Alpha. They just need to find some huge plays. Man,
Look at that.
Dude, that's tough.
Look at that push right there. Like it's a two-player push through the pipes. Then Frosty comes out from the glass side. He's not getting crossfired, so he's able to just enter freely, and there you go. FaZe Clan take game number 1.
Wow, phenomenal from FaZe. I mean, just wasn't really many things to critique at all from them, and honestly, I think this is a great chance for FaZe to get back on top.
Yeah, just warm up, get back on top. We'll find out what happens when we come back after this break. Welcome back to HCS Fort Worth, presented by LVT. We've got game 2 of Alpha Esports versus FaZe Clan here. As you saw, that game number 1, pretty dominant in the hands of FaZe. We'll see if they can continue. And, you know, to be honest, I'm sure they will continue their run here. But if there's any map to take here, it's going to be this one. It's going to be Slayer on Aquarius here for Alpha Esports.
I don't know if you count that. Do you count that?
Nah, maybe not. I mean, it's still a ninja, you know?
Hey, the game says, I guess.
Right.
No, I think it's a good opportunity for Alpha to at least make something happen. I mean, Slayer, Aquarius, very team-focused map. If you can just get your BRs together and frustrate FaZe, like you can find a path to victory. And honestly, I was when Halo Infinite came out, I thought the Mexican teams were gonna do a lot better. I think that region gets a little bit hampered because players from other countries can't play. It's only Mexico, because there's a lot of talent in like Colombia, in particular, that aren't able to play, or like players from Brazil.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that eventually expanded in the HCS, just because I think that like the Latin American region could be a very fierce region. I just think that they're kind of handicapped at the moment with their talent pool, because there's just a lot of players that should have a chance to compete.
They're not able to. Well, hopefully that changes there in the future. 4 down for FaZe.
Love that. Great work right there from Alpha. They basically hit out all the lanes at once, able to get behind the players at the right time, and basically just a great collapse that'll push FaZe all on respawn.
Quantum Translocator at the top center of the map. Strikey's going to get down SnakeBite, which will even up the odds just a bit because he does get traded out, but 3v3 situation momentarily. Frosty's done a really good job at P2 there, just peeking up, getting that damage in, staying alive back on that P2 ramp, knows he doesn't really have anything to worry about behind him, and it comes down to, you know, tracking the players on the map, right? You know how many players are on the enemy team. You gotta like learn their names. Always have names, you know, showing. Here's some, you know, some players not want that, you know, not want names showing, but it's so important because you're just able to track the players. You know, if you see 3 of the 4 players, you know, okay, well, this name I haven't seen yet. Where is this player? And then you see him, and now you know you're safe completely on your side, and you can make plays based off that information.
Absolutely. And so far, FaZe were able to get right back into this game, start stabilizing, and work their way back into a lead. But if we can see more of those coordinated pushes that we saw from Alpha earlier, we're going to have a good shot. The problem is there's just too many one-shot players getting away. I think a little discombobulated, man, that is not how you say that. Pushes from Alpha Esports. They're just not on the same page, not able to pick up the same things. And while Renegade, he's going to be able to get 3. Oh my god, that pistol, man, it's so deadly at that range.
It really is. It's so strong at close range. Again, we talked about it pretty much since day one. I mean, I think I said the word sandbox after this game came out for months.
You said the word sandbox?
Yeah, like months, dude. Because you know, as a part of the pilot program, like, you know, that's something we just learned before the game came out. You just learned that it's just powerful to use the items and the things on the map, and it's never changed. It's always been like that, and it continues.
What is a sandbox?
The sandbox is all the weapons on the map tools.
Oh.
Yeah, and all the utility on the map. The weapons, the repulse, the grapple, that quantum translocator at the top, that's the sandbox.
I always thought it was a small box.
No. The place where you got bullied as a kid, no, that's not the sandbox.
I remember there used to be this kid in my elementary school. Actually, you call him more like a teacher, called Tim Ferracco, because he's so old.
Tim Ferracco?
I'm thinking of Snow. I messed up. That's so funny. That's an inside joke that no one else is going to get.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Oh, man.
But Tim,
Yeah, he was old. He was an old teacher.
Old teacher.
Yeah, we hate
I
those old
bullied
teachers.
him in the sandbox.
Did you?
Like
Yeah.
how I bullied you at Kansas City.
Oh, here we go. This guy beat me in a 1v1 one time and at a LAN.
100%
when I didn't sleep the night before at all, you know. But I haven't said that because I don't come up with excuses. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And he won't rematch me, chat. He won't rematch me, and
Never had an opportunity.
it makes me sick. You know, maybe if we get to a level 10 hype train, he'll actually rematch me on LAN, and we'll have another go at it.
Oh man, it's all determined.
Oh no, see, he won't do
Like
it.
how FaZe, like there's no reason for FaZe. Like,
Wouldn't do it for.
FaZe wins this, so let's say like FaZe wins this game too, right?
Yeah.
You think FaZe should have to go back and be like, yo, like if Alpha's like, let's run it back. Like we need to run it back because we could have won that game.
Yeah.
Even though like it's determined.
So I think if FaZe says like, oh, we beat Alpha, they're so bad, blah blah blah, and then Alpha's like, hey, let's do a rematch then, and FaZe is like, no, I think it's kind of weird.
Yeah, in the same tournament. Why?
Not the same thing. Yeah, but we're talking Kansas City to Fort Worth. I mean,
life, baby.
we have to do it before Worlds. You know, maybe we'll do it at Worlds if we end up getting to Worlds. You know,
You know, a little overkill.
that'd be sick.
Good spot for him. Oh my God.
14 and 5 out of. This is what I'm saying.
Crazy, like the individual talent they have, man.
It's just playing with their food. Like, oh, he almost stayed alive there. It literally would have, if he was able to get around that corner, I guarantee he would have stayed alive too. So, actually a nuts player to watch. And a really annoying player to play against in matchmaking, by the way. Renegade is so annoying. He's just everywhere. It's actually really frustrating to play against him.
I think it's frustrating that you're trying to flex that you play with pro players on the stream.
I always play pro players. I'm the best.
The best, baby. Actually, a really cool kill by Nasty Bullet towards the end over there, but not enough. Obviously, I think the individual talent for FaZe starts showing through. It's like when it comes to Slayers, like it's so hard to beat this team, man, with the way that they're able to just maneuver and enforce their will on the map. That's really what it's like when you're playing FaZe, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, like sometimes you'll get a Renegade in your lobby, and it's like Renegade doesn't care about what you want to do.
No, not at all.
He's gonna force you to play his way.
Yeah.
And there's only like a few teams that can counteract that in the entirety of Halo's history.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it's just. I love watching this FaZe roster.
You know what's crazy too is like Renegade's playstyle. Everyone like will take the easy road, I feel like, and say Renegade and Bound have a similar playstyle. I disagree 100%. I feel like Bound is like very different than Renegade in so many ways, and there are players who, you know,
sometimes it's not for the best. Let me tell you what.
It's not. It's very stressful. That's why I don't do it. But it's cool. It's
no. I mean, you should call
commendable.
out. You need to call out. Spartan, he doesn't need to call out.
Exactly.
What I'm saying, sometimes if you're not the greatest player and you're in the Spartan lobby, it can be pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? No else does that. It's like what I think is funny is I think Spartan and Lucid are very similar in the way that they play and like talk.
Okay.
But Spartan opens his mic and Lucid doesn't.
Lucid doesn't.
I was about to say, dude, I would like maybe not play Halo again if I was like getting yelled at by Lucid. He scares me, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sparty's never, I don't think he's ever called me out because he always knows that I'm like really, I'm just hard on myself in the game. I know I make stupid decisions, and I just want to get better. I feel like getting better at Halo makes you better at every game. Just there's fundamentals in it that are just widespread, you know. And
a video on YouTube of Lucid carrying me.
Really?
Like, I think he had like 60 kills or something.
Oh my word!
It was a 2-round of oddball too. We won in 2 rounds.
That's crazy.
He's nuts.
60 kills, man. That's
Makes you realize how good these pro players are. And well, we're into game number 3, FaZe versus Alpha Esports. Alpha Esports
3-0
of the Mexican roster.
Okay.
It's here today. One Mexican roster was able to get into pool play right away. That is this roster. The other one, Luminosity, in the winner side of the open bracket, where they'll have to play against G1 to qualify.
Wow. That's a huge deal, man. G1 are playing really well, though.
It's going to be a tough game, but Luminosity's a pretty damn good team, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I said it before. I just think the competition is so crazy. It's cool to see the banner rifle used, man. I love that weapon. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great weapon in the sandbox. I'm terrible with it, but you know, I think it's cool. Definitely a little bit of a faster kill time. And it's incredible on land, from what I understand. So really cool.
When I talk to pros, they like it because of its ability not to not get descoped, right?
Okay, yeah.
You keep scoped in, so they're that medium range, man. It's like it's a cheat code on land because
right.
it's not missing shots is the way that they think about it. I feel like bandit rifle has really been kind of, I feel like it's a little underutilized.
Okay.
But it's like, I think it's going to eventually find its place in the HCS, man. That gun is just beautiful. I love the single fire weapons.
That'd be really cool. I love it. I don't like the D-scope thing. I think one of the things that Shroud was actually complaining about in this game when he played it, which he's never liked Halo, but you know, whatever, is the D-scope. He doesn't like that there's D-scope, and in my opinion, I love it. I think it's a big skill gap. I think it, you know, provides for very interesting, you know, situations where, you know, some players don't even know this, but like, the reason I win so many of my long-range fights and maybe pros as well is because there's a timing to it, right? The burst only happens, you know, like there's time in between it. So if you time like their shot with your scope in, then you keep them out of scope. I mean, you can win that D-scope fight, and it's stuff like that that, like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a skill gap for the D-scope fights. Personally, I'm a big fan of it, but I know some people rather the Halo 4 way, you know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I can live and take it. I'm definitely a decent, like, prefer D-scope, but I'm not necessarily like gonna cry if there's not.
Yeah. As long as it's balanced, I'm.
As long as it's not on the VR.
Right, there's a little strong.
VR has D-scope, we're all good, man.
Yeah, his weapon's a little bit strong, but it's fun to use. It's the classic. FaZe, I don't know, playing with their food a bit here. They get that first hill pretty quickly, though, and that's the most difficult one.
Yeah, that's a tough shot.
Yeah.
Sepstars almost was able to hit that, but the thruster came out just in time for that player on FaZe, and now you've only had 2 sniper shots, but the problem is he just has no teammates around him, and basically it's almost like how you see snipers play back in Halo 5, because it was so easy to hit no scope. That he was like very aggressive and forward on the map. I just saw SnakeBite just ran out of ammo in his BR. That's how long he's been alive.
That's crazy.
7 and 5, man. Yeah. Dude, he must have been alive. I don't know, like just laying down shots across the map for that long.
This hill's pretty simple, I would say. It's essentially just making sure to hold yard. The guy in hill watches the driveway, and then the player on loop, and then you have a guy roaming, essentially. I don't know, like maybe even like pushed up towards like posters or something to influence that spawn on the blue. But I don't know. This one's kind of easy in my opinion. This hill right here. Would you call this the money hill of this game type, or?
I don't know. I don't think there is a money hill.
No.
This
Okay.
one's definitely the easiest one to get.
Okay.
Or maybe, you know, maybe that lift hill is a little bit easier because you can like really isolate out that angle easily.
Right, and it blocks it too. The hill, like half the hill is blocked. Yeah.
So it's like, but this hill, like this map in particular, is just like so easy to contest. Like the only reason I think this isn't a money hill is because so often you're gonna spawn in cafe and lift, and you can instantly get an angle into hill to push players out.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Like, yeah, you can shoot from. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Like a money hill, the way that we describe it is like you get in and like you basically capture it in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much time.
That's a good point. I actually forgot about the fact that you can shoot from literally truck.
Yeah,
all the way
it's pretty
down.
easy to contest into that hill, but
Yeah.
at the same time, like it is one of the easier hills to capture because the concept's simple, and Alpha Esports is doing it well right now. Is that you just hold loop, right? As long as you have this spawn and you win your gunfights, you will win this hill. But you can see FaZe, they get coordinated. 3 players push out, knowing that spawn's most important, able to break out that hill. And now Alpha, they have to get a little desperate. You're going to see them play a little bit faster now because the hill is quickly going to move in FaZe's hands.
Great spot here for Renegade. Again, just kind of playing behind everyone. Look at his ability to kind of stay alive here too. Obviously, he ends up going down right there as I say something, but his ability to just put those shots in, be it like a, you know, crazy angles, different angles. Oh, wait a minute.
Fighting for that.
Do they get this?
Well, FaZe has the spawns, right? And that's the thing. Is like, I really like the way the Alpha's playing that with the kills. The problem is they put one player up too far, and they gave up those loop spawns. But this one's not over yet. I think Alpha can definitely still take this hill. You're going to have SnakeBite desperating down the middle. He's going to have to get this kill in time. Oh, my God. The nade comes in. Alpha, they're so close to getting the capture. Alpha does get the capture.
Okay.
1-1. And honestly, brilliant setup by Alpha.
40 seconds.
They were very good at making sure that they did not give up spawns easily. Only a couple times was FaZe able to find that clean break. And well, Alpha are able to basically get themselves back in. And it doesn't matter if the outslay from FaZe is severe, right? Scoreline is still 1-1.
Right.
Still your chance.
Yeah, and then after this 30 seconds is over or so, they got overtime to work with as well.
And capture this hill, I mean, it's over. I don't think FaZe is going to capture the next one in the leftover time. Alpha has a real opportunity here. What you want to try to do is you want to try to get FaZe into that lift spawn, right? So you want to get a player into blue and loop at the same time, and you want to create like that. Those two players have like a line across the map that keeps connected, and then you want to try to force the spawners into lift. That way they have to play through the map through through open positions. On the other side, if you have blue and you have loop, you have so much of the map to look at that you don't really have to move. You can play a lot more statically, and you can play a lot more safely. It's easier to get kills that way.
We see 2 seconds remaining. It looks like
Next hill will win.
FaZe gonna hop in, get this time. It looks like they're very close to doing so. They've gotten 1 kill on the side of Alpha Esports, so Alpha's gonna have to wait for their spawners here. And Frosty's gonna play really annoying with his QT. He plays on the top of Snipe. They have no idea where he is. It ends up going down. Not gonna be able to pop that QT, so there's the overtime. Next cap wins, of course, as usual. And it will be FaZe. FaZe 3-0, Alpha Esports in pool play.
Yeah, I mean, just great performance throughout for FaZe. I really was impressed with some moments from Alpha Esports. I think they just need more time. It's just tough, man. It's like, I really want to see like these Mexican teams do a little bit better. I think the talent is there. Like some of these players are really good and have the chance to do some big things. It's just it hasn't clicked for them. It's like we thought that it was going to be a real battle internationally when Halo Infinite first came out between, you know, the Mexico region and Europe and North America. Season 1 was basically very North American heavy.
Right.
Now we see Europe is starting to get those get that momentum behind them. We saw that Mexico's starting to get a couple. You know, I think they're getting a little bit better. What's really impressed me though is ANZ. What 50-49 they lost the game to Optic today.
Wow.